just like be sitting there and you're just like, ooh, some banana bread would be so good right about now. Yeah, well, that just happened to me. So I'm on my way to Walmart to get the ingredients. So let's go. So I'm like one of those people that will go to the different grocery stores to get all of the different things that I like. So like I always come to Whole Foods for like flowers if I'm not like going into Publix, because I love their fresh flowers and other things like that. So just making my rounds today. Being out the way, and if you happy where you are, then that's where you should stay. So I happened to be on Threads one day, and there was this girl in there kind of like doing a Throwback Thursday, and her Throwback Thursday was like, remember when all the Karens got together and bullied Whole Foods when they were trying to change their, I guess it's called the berry chantilly cake? I had never heard of it, and it was so many responses about this cake, and I was like, have I been living under a rock or something? Because I've never heard of this. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and see what this berry chantilly cake is all about. And they have some slices, because a lot of times they said it really depended on the Whole Foods and if they would have actual slices, because you would have to order it. But my Whole Foods has the slice, and I'm gonna pay $4 for this cake because I want to see what the hype was about. I guess it was 2 years ago at that. So I got my chantilly cake, and I'm actually like really excited. So I just was sitting there in the store thinking, me and my banana nut bread, I don't have a baking dish, so I have to run to Home Goods, get that, and I'm done because I'm tired.
You're now free to move into the next season.
Man, I hate when this happens. It's a long line. You only have one thing. If I didn't want this banana bread, I would put this pan back and walk out. The moment of truth. Oops, did I have it upside down? The Whole Foods berry chantilly cake, because I clearly have not been in the loop on this. So people were like, it's so good, you're gonna get addicted to it. And let's just see. Well, I can't get into it. Okay, there we go. There it is. Let's see. It's a good cake. I'm just not taste to it. I mean, it's a vanilla cake, but I get it. I get it. It's good. It really is good. I'm almost curious what they were changing about the recipe to have people basically bullying Whole Foods where they actually didn't even change the recipe. I don't know. But it is good. No lies were told. I just like it because it has like a really clean taste. And although I know it's loaded with sugar, it doesn't taste that way. Okay. Okay. Well, that itch was scratched. The funny thing is I said, I'm gonna try it and then just put the rest in the refrigerator. That might not be the reality for me. Well, if you stop now, that could be. I did it. I did it. Okay, I did it. I did it.
A few moments later, 2,000 years later, one eternity later.
What the hell? That's how I know it's good, because I'm dancing. When I start dancing in the kitchen, now my blood sugar's gonna go up. Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it.
You're now free to move into the next season.
So, do you see this banana bread that I just made? I am very proud of myself. So, one thing that my aunt taught me is about the combination of, if you saw in the ingredients, about the 1 teaspoon of the different flavors and extracts. Those are the flavors that she taught me about using in my sweet potato pie. But she told me you could really use that combination of flavors in any of your desserts. So I used that combination when I made peach pie. I thought about it for the banana bread because I was like, you know, bread, it's like that warm flavor. And sometimes you think like coconut and lemon, that's not going to, like, you know, I don't want it to taste so tart or so acidic. It has none of that. So that's why I recommended putting that combination of flavors and extracts. But if you really don't want to necessarily go that far, you can just put in the vanilla extract. But you're missing out if you don't do that whole combination of the vanilla, the coconut, the butter flavor, the vanilla extract, and I think it was lemon on there. So try it out. If you don't have like the nutmeg and the cinnamon, which I totally forgot to get at the store, but I had allspice, works the exact same. All of those ingredients are in the allspice. So you can kind of do one or the other, you know, how you see fit. So I'm gonna let this cool and then I'm gonna cut into this baby. I really don't need it because I already had that chantilly cake. I ate some chips and now I got this banana bread, but I'm gonna taste this banana bread though. Need some more. I feel like it's a little bit, it needs to cook a little bit more longer. I feel like it's too spongy, or at least I want it to be like bready. And I may have used, I don't know. This is technically my first time making banana nut bread, but it's good. I just don't like the fact that it's just a little spongy. So I'm gonna let it cook a little bit longer and probably let it settle because I didn't let it settle. Okay. But yeah, that's just good. Really cool to share some of my TV pick recommendations with you all, because as you know, I have been home and a lot of what I've been doing aside from sleeping and or watching TV, I've watched a lot of TV. As a matter of fact, when my parents came, they were like, we just don't see how you live like this. And I was like, you know, what are y'all talking about? I don't have cable. And so all I do, of course, are streaming services. And I have, so I have Hulu, and a lot of that comes through Verizon. You know how if you have Verizon, a lot of times they have like these little add-on picks. If you do this, this, and this, you get this free for a year. So that's kind of how I move and shake. I see what Verizon is gonna offer me for free, and then I go with that, because I don't watch cable. And I mean, you about can watch any of these streaming services and find something you like. So that's essentially what I've been doing. I really go between Apple TV, Netflix, of course, and Hulu. I've been watching some really great shows that I really wanted to share my TV recommendations for you all. But I also want you all to drop some TV recommendations, because I will be kind of on the shut in the house list for about another 2 weeks. And I really do want to watch some really good shows. When I'm watching any type of movie or series on one of the streaming services that deals with espionage, I know, of course, you know, I'm very aware of the conflict that has been happening for many years and currently between Iran and Israel. However, I am a total sucker for any of the shows that really center around Tehran and the whole conflict between the two countries, in a fictional way. Of course, my heart goes out to the reality of it, but I absolutely love those Israeli Iranian shows that show the conflict where you have like the Mossad and, so forth and so forth. Absolutely love those shows. So my first recommendation that I absolutely love, I've been watching it from season 1, 2, and 3, has been Tehran on Apple TV. The thing about it is, what I really love about it, they do a mixture, even depending on like how you want to put your closed captions on to really watch the show, because the show is aired in Israel. So of course they speak Hebrew on the show, but they have a mix of English and Hebrew. So you can put your closed caption on, and I just like the thrill of, like reading the subtitles, hearing what they're saying. Sometimes they catch you up while they're speaking English, so you don't have to kind of figure that out or figure that part out as quickly. But that is my show. That's the only reason I have Apple TV, to be honest, to tell you the truth, because once that season goes off, I'm cutting Apple TV off until the next season comes around. Another one of my favorite shows that I got into while being home and just really getting into all of the movies on streaming services, still on Apple TV, is Dope Thief. Oh my gosh, that is my favorite, absolute favorite. I really hope they come out with a season 2. I haven't really looked up to see if they're coming out with a season 2, but two friends that basically just kind of make their way through certain things, trying to do small robberies until they come up on a big one, and then it's kind of like, F around, find out. That's what they did. And I'm not going to give away what any of the shows are about. Just look them up on your own and see if that's kind of like your cup of tea. But these that I'm sharing with you as my TV picks are my absolute favorites. Another one that I came across on Apple TV was Women in Blue. So I really love searching for shows that air in other countries, because I just kind of feel like I really kind of want to expand my horizons with the certain things that I watch. And a lot of those shows are really, really good, especially like I'm really into Spain Netflix. Oh my God. They have some really great shows. That's how I came across Money Heist on Netflix. What are some other the Spanish shows that come on, or the Spain Netflix is one of my absolute favorite things to really kind of comb through those movies and series. But sticking with Apple TV, this particular show, Women in Blue, it's centered in Mexico. And I'm one of those people, I don't mind reading subtitles while I'm watching, like a show, because the original language of this show is Spanish. It's a show out of Mexico. I just happened to come across this because I really like the plot. I'm really into thrillers, anything dealing with narco, drug deals, that whole kind of thing. I absolutely love that. So this one particularly centers around Mexico City, where there was this murderer who was going around murdering women and, leaving a certain mark. You could tell anytime that he committed a crime, you knew it was him. But essentially, because it was I think it was set in the 60s, 70s, something like that, Mexico City, they brought on a group of women to be the first police women in the city. But it kind of worked against them, because the women were the ones who solved the crime. It was a really great show. Now, the funny thing is, this particular show was so good, I had to basically turn on, what is it called? Where they do the overwrite, where it's English. I didn't really particularly enjoy the English being overwritten on the show, because it was the voice didn't necessarily match the person I was looking at, and it was their excitement and their acting was kind of flat. But the show and the plot of the show is really, really good. So that's Women in Blue. I love watching the morning show on Apple TV. To be honest with you, what the plot is of all of the different seasons of the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon was definitely not, starting at season 1, that was not what I thought the show was about. But I've been hooked ever since on the morning show. So that is one of my top picks if you have Apple TV to watch that show. Now moving on to Netflix. These are my top recommendations. So starting off, of course, with all of the Bridgertons, I really figured since I had a lot of time on my hands since I was at home, I started from season 1, watching the Bridgertons, and then moved into what the current season is. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, the whole Cinderella plot with season 4 is just really not doing it for me. I think it may be just the setup of the first 4 episodes, or I think it's the first 4 episodes. I mean, I got through it, but it just wasn't my favorite. Now, however, to me, like the 4th episode kind of started to get a little bit juicy, especially when he asked the infamous question at the end. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but I was just like, well, isn't this a blip? Like, now, wait a minute, Benedict, now who you talking to like that? Like, what kind of question is that? So, I mean, I really kind of stuck with season 4 just because I've been watching the Bridgertons, but I'm just going to be honest, these first 4 episodes just really weren't my favorite, but it was something, something to do, something to watch. So, of course, all of the Bridgertons, Queen Charlotte, that whole franchise, I love watching that. Another show movie that I really liked watching on Netflix, because I love, rom-coms as well, was The People We Meet on Vacation. I thought it was cute, quirky, and I really like the way they kind of set the scene of everything, of how like the couple comes together and how they figure out they love each other. So I would recommend The People We Meet on Vacation. Again, I love espionage, Iran, Israeli conflict, the movies and series. Fada is one of my absolute favorites. I think they're supposed to come out with a 4th season, but I'm not sure. Anytime I have looked those up, it just kind of, I'll start looking stuff up as soon as I finish like all of the seasons, like when is the next season coming out. Fada's a really good recommendation if you like thrillers, espionage, movies like that, or series like that. That's a really good one. Next one that I really enjoyed was the 4 seasons about the 4 friends that, grew up together, and they're just kind of going through life's ups and downs. There's a lot, like, of course, it's just funny. I really like it because it's funny. It's like unexpectedly, well, with the characters or with the people that are in the show, like you knew it was going to be funny, but it really is funny. So the 4 seasons is a really good pick. And then lastly, I like any type of historical series. So The Empress, season 2, that came out on Netflix, that was one of my favorite ones to watch. And there's so many more. I feel like as long as I'm kind of home, still in the recovery phase, I want to share some more TV picks with you. But if you've seen any of the picks that I had, let me know if you, like those as well, especially if you watch any of these shows, because I'm recommending them to you. Please let me know what you think about it, because I absolutely love all of these. Okay? Okay.